Greetings, salutations, good friends, and welcome to today's video. It's been a while since I've talked about a manga series in particular. This wasn't a conscious decision, it's just something I didn't really feel up to. But here I am talking about a manga series. And the title of this manga series in particular is called Slave of the Magical Capital's Elite Troupe. Now, because there's a little ritual I have going on this channel, I will now try to pronounce the Japanese name of this. Mato Seihei no Slave. That was an easy peasy lemon squeezy one. Now, this is the part where I give a synopsis of the show. However, this is also where things get a bit difficult because the synopsis of this one is a pretty girthy, pretty big one. A lot of technical terms I'll probably have to explain along the ways, but I'll try to make it as simple and painless as possible, so bear with me, buckle in, grab some popcorn, and let's get on with it. Now, to give a brief history lesson about this world, a couple decades ago, or a century or something, it's not really specified on how long this has been happening, but these wormholes start popping up all over the world, or Japan. I don't know if they specified, but through this wormhole, it leads people to a hellish dimension called the Mako. Now, in the Mako, there are these demonic beasts called the Shuki. The Shuki have a knack for eating humans. Now that there's an upside to this, there's also a resource called, they call a peach, the peaches. And when a woman, specifically, eats a peach, she will gain heightened physical abilities as well as the fact that she'll gain a unique superpower. Now, I said specifically female because when a male eats this, nothing will happen. He'll not gain any sort of physical buff, nor will he acquire a superpower. Nothing will happen. And due to this, an all-female Shuki repellent force called the Anti-Demon Corps was formed. All-female, specifically, because males cannot fight these beings. Now, this, of course, eradicated the term gender equality and led to a very female-predominant society where females have all the privileges and all the upper-class treatment, while males are treated as lower because they cannot get any special abilities of any sorts. Now, insert our little protagonist, Yuki Wakara. Wakara? Something along those lines. And he has a knack for housekeeping. He's pretty average, other than that fact. He likes to cook, he likes to sew, he likes to clean, and he's good at all of it as well. Now, one day, he also has an older sister that went missing 5 years previously to a Mako disaster. A Mako disaster is when a temporary portal to the Mako randomly shows up, and someone either falls in it, gets lost or hurt, or a Shuki comes out and starts killing people. And our little protagonist's older sister was caught up in one of these Mako disasters 5 years previous. And on his way home from school, he's about to graduate or something, by the way, I guess, he encounters his very own Mako disaster. He suddenly finds himself in the middle of the Mako. Now, he's about to be surrounded and then devoured by a group of Shuki. However, a leader of a unit of the Anti-Demon Corps suddenly shows up to save him, and she is called Captain Kyoka Uzun. Now, her power is a bit unusual. She can enslave an organism, and in turn, she will give it immense strength and heightened physical capabilities, as well as the fact that she'll have to pay it a reward later on. However, due to this dire situation, she suddenly decides to test her first human male. She never used her power on a human before. However, the desperate situation calls for desperate answers, and she decided to try to use him, and it worked out unbelievably well. Their compatibility was incredible, etc., etc. And the whole thing we talked about previously about she has to reward him for his hard effort after the fact, against her will even, because I guess, also leads to the pervy bits, as you can imagine. And in case you're wondering, the genres of this particular manga is action, harem, ecchi. Now, To be upfront, at first, let me specify that as well. At first, I did not enjoy the series. I thought that the pacing of the story was a little bit too fast. I thought that the action scenes were kind of underwhelming, and etc., etc., etc. I didn't like the way that. Actually, that's a bigger point. I have a really big problem with harem mangas, and the fact that there's a trope in it where the main character gets treated as subhuman and a punching bag, and I never really understood this trope. It happens in a lot of series, not in every series, mind you, but a lot of series. The butt end of the joke, etc., etc., etc. They get a lot of trash treatment, and this series really pronounced this kind of behavior due to the fact that he's also branded as a slave. That's the entire thing. He's a slave. It's in the name of the manga. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess the turntables or something. But however, as I kept on reading it, and the pervy bits in it, they are top quality and quite exquisite and quite delectable, and they're quite enjoyable to read and look at. So there's that. There's that plus side. And as I've sorry, voice crack. I kept on reading it because I like to give these series a chance. Maybe it does get better, and in this case, it did get better. The pacing of the story finally evened out after a while. The action scenes, as the story progressed, became a lot more. Became a lot better. Is the best word I can think of. It became a lot more high octane and such. And even the main character's treatment by all the girls of the dormitory are, his relationship with all the other girls get a lot less thornier, and they treat him with a lot more humanity, I guess. And also, I didn't mention this in the summary, but he's also when he's not being used as a magical beast thing, because when he gets enslaved, he becomes like this weird magical beast thing. He's the caretaker of the dormitory his unit lives in. So there's that. But after a while, it does get better, and the action scenes are quite good, and they stay good throughout. And it's very nice because after every action scene that he's involved in, our little main character, due to the whole reward system that the series has that's set up, after every action sequence, you can almost guarantee that there will be a pervy sequence. So that's good. It keeps your attention. But overall, I do enjoy this series. It had a bit of a rocky start at the beginning, in my opinion, but as it progressed, it became more a lot better in quality. So that's my take on the series. If you're into harem, ecchi, action manga, I would highly recommend this one. This one's very good, a good read, as long as you can get past the whole slave bit, which I'm not into, but that's just my own preference. And also, the main character doesn't really have a whole lot of inner monologue, so it kind of feels like the series is kind of trying to do a self-insert character thing. And it does it in a way that I like, but at the same time, I don't want to be in the situation. I don't find the situation to be very enviable. But again, that's just my own preference. But yeah, give this a series a shot. It's good. It's enjoyable. A bit of a rough start, but it gets better. A lot better in my opinion. It starts off at like a 6, and then at the part where I'm at least, it's like an 8. So yeah, recommend it. I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Be on the lookout for my next video. I upload apparently every day or so. And yeah, that about does it. I don't think I have anything else to add. If I do, I guess I'll add it in later and you won't see this. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. Farewell.